Hi
Hi,
everyone, good morning.
everyone.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm going to take you through this short 10-minute flow to help you get started with your day by activating, strengthening, and stretching from head to toe. So, this yoga practice is suitable for all experience levels. No props are required, and we're going to start in child's pose, Balasana. Big toes together, knees as wide as you would like them to be. The wider they are, the more you'll feel this through the inner thighs, but just make sure it's not too much, especially first thing in the morning. Sometimes we're a little bit tighter. Relax your neck and your shoulders. And take 5 deep belly breaths in and out through your nose. This is your chance to really set an intention for the day ahead, to focus on yourself first and your needs and what matters to you right now and for the day. Big breath in. And as you release, you can start walking your hands in, lifting yourself up, and we'll stay in this kneeling position. Just bring your knees hip-width distance apart, and you can walk your hands and the fingertips behind you, finding a little bit of a chest stretch. So I'm bending into my elbows, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades behind me, and then I'm thinking of lifting my heart up towards the sky. So as if you're trying to get your elbows to touch one another. A little bit of a back bend. And let's release. Lift your hips up, and we're going to bring our right leg out to the side for a variation of gate pose. So my right foot, my knee, and my hip are all in one line. I'm going to reach my left arm up and over, big side body stretch here. Really think of lengthening out through the left side of your waist. And we'll stretch into our hamstrings from here, so you can continue to rotate that left arm all the way down until you have your fingertips to support you on the mat. I'm going to come up onto my right heel, so I'm lifting the toes up, and I'm going to start to press my hips back towards that left heel. So I'm really trying to just stretch into those hamstrings, and if you'd like, you can intensify this by crawling the fingertips forward, folding forward, and a little bit of a bend in that right leg is perfectly fine. You don't need to be all the way down. Let's come into our tabletop pose from here. So on hands and knees, from tabletop, turn your hands so that the fingertips are pointing towards the sides of your mat, and we'll do 4 rounds of cat and cow here. So as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. Exhale, reverse this motion as you round. So starting to stretch into our wrists a little bit. Keep going with the flow of your breath. Try to keep the elbows straight. Take one more. And we'll release, coming back up, gate pose on the second side. So my left foot, left leg step out, and I'm going to reach my right arm up and over, big side body stretch. Pulling the lower belly in, rolling that right shoulder back so you're not tilting forward. And you can continue to roll that right arm down until you have your fingertips to the mat, just to help with support. I'm going to roll onto my left heel, so just so I can point my toes up, and then start to press your hips back towards that right heel, getting a bit of a hamstring stretch down through that left leg, and maybe crawling and folding forward if that feels appropriate to you right now. Noticing where you might be holding tension, what feels a little bit stiff. And we'll come back into that tabletop pose on hands and knees. You're welcome to do the same thing with your fingertips pointing towards the outer edges of your mat. If you'd like to intensify for cat and cow, you can also rotate so that now your palm is flat to the mat, but the fingertips are pointing towards your knees. 4 rounds of cat and cow. Inhale. And exhale. Spread the shoulder blades apart. 3 more like this. And regardless of which hand position you've chosen, think of pushing down into your fingertips and knuckles. So really activating even through the fingers. 1 last round here. And we'll lower onto our bellies so you can just flip the hands back out and then lower all the way. We're gonna lift the upper body up in a little baby cobra. So you wanna be able to hover off of the mat and you have your feet about mat width distance apart. We're gonna inhale to lift the legs up and then squeeze the heels together, open them back out and lower the legs. 3 more just like this. So squeeze and lift, hug into the midline, separate the legs and lower them down twice more. Stay lifted and engaged through your upper body. You really don't need to be up too high here. Stretch at the back of the knee. Last one, in to the center, open, and we'll release downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hands are shoulder width distance apart, feet about hip width distance apart or so. And just take a moment to move in any way that feels good through your ankles, your calves, relaxing your neck and your head. Let's reach our right leg up towards the sky. Bend your knee, open up your hip, get a big thigh stretch. And we're gonna step our right foot to the outer edge of our right hand, so a wider stance than a normal lunge, and you can drop that back knee to the mat. I'm gonna lift my right toes up and roll to the outer edge of my right foot. So deep into this lizard pose. Really let that right knee and thigh be heavy. You're welcome to just stay where you are, or you can add a quad stretch by reaching that right arm forward, up and back, pulling that left heel in. Think of keeping your hips down low as you draw that heel in closer to your seat. A little bit of a twist through the upper body. And let's carefully release, downward facing dog. Step that right foot back. We'll go do the same thing to the other side. Left leg rises, bend your left knee, open up your hip, and step that foot to the outer edge of your left hand at the top of the mat. Back knee comes down, curl the left toes up, and let your knee and thigh drop out to the side. So just on the outer blade of your left foot. Getting a little deeper into our outer hip. And maybe you stay in this variation of the pose, or you can add your quad stretch, circle that left arm, and then see if you can really squeeze and hamstring curl to bring that heel in towards you. Let's carefully release the hold of the foot, downward facing dog, step that left foot back to meet the right. And we'll just take a little simple flow here. So inhale through to plank pose, lower to your belly as you exhale, elbows in, point your toes back, roll the shoulders back, Cobra Bhujangasana. Exhale, back to downward dog, our last downward facing dog. And let's bring our knees down to the mat, and you can lift yourself up, very similar to what we were doing in the beginning, but let's add a little bit of a camel side bend. So my left hand is either gonna go to the back of my thigh, right arm reaches up and over. If you can reach, you can also bring your hand directly onto your heel. Really stretching through the right side of the waist. And coming back up, we'll switch sides, either bringing your right hand behind your right thigh, left arm stretching up as you twist a little bit to the right, or you can drop that right hand onto your heel. Keep pressing and pushing your hips forward. Lifting ourselves all the way back up. Set your hips back down. And just come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Take a tiny little twist, left hand to your right knee. Twist through your chest. Pull the belly in. And over to the other side. Right hand to your left knee. Twist. Keep your spine nice and long. Back through to center. Closing the eyes. You can join your hands at the front of your heart. You might want to choose a word that focuses and captures how you want to feel today, what your one word intention is for the day. For me, it'll be openness. This is my morning practice as well. And when you have this word, keep it in your heart, and we'll close by chanting Om one time together. Inhale to chant, breathe in deep.